Welcome on and everyone after an incredible kickoff game from FlyQuest Academy for our Academy Summer 2022 startup, and it is our first best of two series. That means we get some fun with these ones, as it is one of my favorites. I was going to say fan favorite, but I don't know that for a fact, so I'm not going to go
We
that
can always
far.
ask. Why don't you just ask them? Just ask them.
Hey,
Be like,
maybe,
hey, what's your
maybe.
favorite?
Yeah, we'll have to see. But it is another episode of game completely unique to the Academy broadcast. It is a little breakdown coming up here for you. We've got a game called Yordle. Now, it is going to be a guessing game for our lovely casters to take part in. We're going to have a 6-letter word. That's right, 6 letters this time around. That describes something we feel is important in the game that we just watched. Something that is important to either the teams, the players, a story that is important narrative-wise that we want to kind of focus on. You're going to have 5 guesses to get this right. You can either collaborate, you can go solo in it, whatever you guys want to do. You're going to have 5 guesses. Now, each guess, you're going to say your 6-letter word. You're going to say we're going to lock it in. That is going to be the lock-in phrase. And then we'll see what you get right. If your letters are correct and in the right place, we'll have a green box. If it is the right letter in the wrong place, the right letter, and it's not in the right word, it will be a gray box. Now, we will go ahead and start off with our first guess of the day. Do you guys want to collaborate? Do you want to go at it solo? One of you want to just bite the bullet here? What do you want to do?
Well, you see, we have a tradition here.
Let me go.
As it is me and Mad Magical, which is Mad Magical gets to get his crazy word out of the way first.
All right, what do you got, Magical? What's your starting summer 2022 Yordle word?
Zickins.
Oh God,
How
you're
do you
gonna have to
spell
spell that one.
Zyxins.
All right, so we're gonna go with that word. I'm not even gonna try to say it. Kelsey, our answer is going to get in there and put it in. And you're wrong. As you see, it's already been entered in. It's all gray, Magical. So
Hey, at least we know X, Y, and Z are out of it.
Yeah, I mean, true. I'm surprised you didn't choose I guess quack.
Oh, don't worry.
So actually, that's the next word. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Next word is quack.
Quacks with an S.
It would have to be quacks with an S. Yeah.
Hey! Okay.
You got a U. It's in the wrong place, but you got a U. All right, I want to see you guys put your hands together, your brains together. Maybe not your hands, since you are remote.
And UG both have U's in it.
Okay.
I don't think that's
so it's usually gonna be a phrase, something that's maybe a little bit more general that pertains to something. I wouldn't say it's gonna be somebody's name. I'll give you that little hint. So what's your third guess gonna be?
Yeah. It's gotta have a U in it. Rescue? No, it can't because it doesn't have an S. No.
Maybe it does like
What?
snowballing, like deals with that.
What about fought?
I'll give you a hint after this one. All
Fought.
right.
Fought
that has an O. Yeah, honestly, I like that just because it's a lot of words that we have, or a lot of letters we haven't seen yet. Yeah.
Let's try it. Fought. Oh, you moved up one. All right.
If we get out of this Yordle with the word, we deserve an award. We are behind.
All right. So I'll give you a hint here. It has something to do with the bot lane.
We're like as behind as 103 Thieves was after like 3 dragons.
Yeah.
And obviously the O and U are not in the right place.
Something to do with the bot lane. Maybe it's something they do. Maybe it's something they have.
Oh, Devour.
All right. Let's check
Devour. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's just Devour.
Is that gonna be it?
That's it.
Is that it? Ding, we got a winner! It is.
Way to go, Cubby! Cubby carrying that one.
Carrying.
We take
all
those.
Of a sudden,
we take those.
The pieces of the puzzle together just like that. Bing. As Kelsey said, unfortunately, I was having some technical difficulties, so Kelsey was the one that set this one up. Tom Kench is OP.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Diamond did pretty damn good with it. So I want to transition into that conversation about the Tom Kench, about how it fit into the FlyQuest Academy roster and their play style, but as well as how they just, sorry to say it, devoured up 100 Thieves Academy.
So what do you call playing with cheat codes on, but then also adding in another cheat code of Tom Kench? Like, how many layers of cheat codes are we getting into?
Hey, no cheat codes.
Apparently a
all part
lot,
of the game.
because we're gonna take a look at some of those clips to and see why those cheat codes were utilized, as FlyQuest putting an early stamp on the top side of the map there for sure. Magical.
I mean, honestly, I'm also looking at Diamond's predictions with those abyssal voyages and abyssal dives. The thing is, he landed a lot of them. There's a lot that he was able to either land or create perfect space for his team that he could devour, like there, where he's just perfectly placed to make sure that he's constantly keeping these fights going and rolling for his team. Like, we were focused on Yuji and Spirax because they were playing the interesting stuff. Diana Yasuo is a really fun thing to watch.
That's the interesting stuff.
Oh, Diana Yasuo, the wombo combo is always interesting. But Diamond is what kept the engine going. He was pretty much making sure that it was always functioning.
And that's the story of FlyQuest, right? Like, this team. Like, again, teams that we have. Diamond might be the single most vocal person that we have in comps when it comes to dictating the game, just like how FlyQuest runs and operates as a team. Not to take away from the rest of the members, like they're not contributing or anything, because they're winning games, they're playing well. But Diamond is the one that oftentimes is the leader, is looking for these plays. He was the one playing Engage in this last game and this last split. So the fact that he was able to find it, enable them to push further and have the confidence that Diamond had their backs with those devours, I think was a big part in making sure that FlyQuest did play that game out as cleanly as they did.
And I think that's something else super interesting. We were talking going into this game about the new additions for 100 Thieves. How is that going to all work out against a roster for FlyQuest Academy who has stuck together, who showed off that, at least I tweeted it already, that they didn't skip a beat, it feels like. They completely controlled that game and through objectives, through map macro, and it just seems like 100 Thieves Academy, we're having some struggles with that kind of communication. So going into game 2, I definitely want to pick your brain a little bit, Cubby, and how do 100 Thieves bounce back to really make this a one?
I mean, honestly, the game plan for 100 Thieves made sense to me. Like, get tenacity counter and try and bully Philip. I thought that Philip, again, played very admirably in that game. Was it the fanciest pop-off game that we've ever seen? No. But did Philip do his job and more? Hit those ganks where he had to burn flash, had to hit those double barrels to prevent Vlad from following up. He played out very, very well. So I think that he was almost as essential to making sure that Diamond and Tomo were able to do the things that they did for FlyQuest that game. Just the fact that Philip wasn't giving up more gold when he did get that far behind, I thought was huge. So I think that if 100 Thieves goes with the same game plan, and this time tries to break Philip, whatever that ends up being, I could see that being a very relevant and relatively reasonable path to victory for them in this game.
Getting all the high quality words out that one.
All the R's, you know.
All the R's.
This past offseason.
How's Team Liquid going?
Okay? You know, I don't have any of their games this week, so we're gonna save that one.
Good job, Kelsey. We'll keep that one going.
I might have them tomorrow, actually. Yeah.
Oh no, you scheduling snafus.
No, I don't. I don't have Team Liquid this week.
Oh no.
Nice.
I do want to go back to the conversation
Last
I
day.
had though, right? And focus back in a little bit, because when the re-entrance of Tenacity and Will into Academy, BMFX coming in for 100 Thieves, and for all intents and purposes, we could see, I feel like, a little bit of the diamonds in the rough of what you see, the reason why 100 Thieves picked up these players. But again, it's about kind of cohesing that. And I like what you were talking about the top lane focus and making sure you're playing to those strengths, because I think you can obviously see that Tomo and Diamond are very, very stable in the bot lane, and they will rule that bot lane if you let them. So I think if you find that pressure point on the other side of the map, that's super, super important here. But that also means that you do have to tackle, Yuji, who was having pretty good movements around the map.
Yeah, Yuji was just constantly all over the place. and really setting up a lot of stuff for Spirax. That's actually what I really want to pivot to, because Spirax in this matchup was setting up far more than anything. He was making sure Yuji always had a place to go, where you could see from that early invade, he was struggling to have a placement on the map until Spirax was getting these leads, constantly trading well with Jimian and making sure that it's like, hey, come on, Yuji, let's get a free kill, some free gold for you.
Yeah, I think a lot of credit goes over to Spirax with how he played out that laning phase. Again, opened up that first blood with his positive trades, then shifted into the side lane, was able to match with the Vladimir pretty well. I thought that Spirax had a fantastic Yasuo performance in that one.
And it definitely kept Jimian quiet, who we were kind of talking about, as the only standing member from last split right now on the roster, trying to find some stability through that some way. But it really just was that he wasn't able to get his feet set under him because of the absolute control that FlyQuest, the mechanics through it. And there were some of those fights that were a little bit too close for comfort from FlyQuest Academy. And we'll have to see if those are maybe the fights that 100 Thieves recollect on it and use to empower themselves, as I do here. We are ready for game number 2 of the day. See if 100 Thieves FlyQuest Academy's rage as magical. Cubby, take it away.
I am curious to see how this will end up going for both teams. We could have a spot where 100 Thieves make sure that we start off the split with a 1-1. But it could also be FlyQuest dominating and say they are going to be a top team this split, get a nice 2-0 to start off everything, and really make a statement that they are here to not just do well in the Proving Grounds, but do well in the Summer Split and then win Proving Grounds.
That is the dream for these players, of course, taking home. As we have 16 best of 2s to go through for the season, before we even get to see how the bracket does shake out for Proving Grounds. But I say overall, FlyQuest off to a good start in this game and series. See if they can make it a 2-0, be a good way for FlyQuest to assert dominance over themselves, or I should say over 100 Thieves, as 100 Thieves and FlyQuest did knock 100 Thieves next.
I know,
into
right?
The lower bracket, which did include Sword, going back to last PG, but I will see if FlyQuest can continue to put up the good games that we're seeing out of them with our humongous sample size of 1.
Yeah, that decides everything. A sample size of 1, right? That's how my statistics classes always were when I was in college. Like as long as you have one person that agrees with you, then you're right. Yeah,
that's usually how it works out.
Yeah.
For the side of 100 Thieves, who are on the blue side for this set, or I should say this game too. Guess what? They are a Graves player as well, as it looks like another Graves lock-in here for the side of Will. And it looks like the response here might be a little bit different for FlyQuest, as they could be setting up that Yasu, or I should say that Lucian Nami lane.
Yep.
It could be a possibility.
That's what I was thinking. Grab something like that, but ooh. Now that's an interesting one. I know a lot of players have actually talked about Callista being pretty good on this patch right now. Not many people want to play her, but seeing that BMFX in the second game, in Academy, play this with the Renata Glosk, I'm really excited to see how they're going to be able to pilot this against the Lucian Nami that we expect.
It is now confirmed here for the side of FlyQuest as... So the Callista Renata, it is a very powerful lane. Renata has a really strong laning phase as a support. Of course, that big team fight ultimate, big zone control, and if it connects, it can turn a team fight in your favor as you turn the allies of the other team against each other. But at the moment, looks like since we have a few bans being thrown out to maybe protect Philip taking a blind, that is one of the unique parts about FlyQuest, is that if they do play red side games, historically last split, still Philip is oftentimes one blinding his champion. So could see FlyQuest have a couple of bans thrown out at them, but we're going to hop out of draft real briefly here.
Yeah, we had a little bit of an issue there. Just a little bit of a champ select issue. Hopefully we'll be able to get it fixed, as well as the graphics up top, so that we can get the teams labeled correctly. But I'm expecting a lot of that to be the same. Honestly, looking at the draft, it seemed more what I expected going into this kind of patch, right? We're still seeing the Graves have a lot of priority with Wukong being banned. We're seeing that there's a little bit more adaptability in the bot lane. You don't necessarily have to go for like Ezreal, Karma, or Senna something every game. You ban Senna, it changes a lot. You don't have to worry about trying to poke out the Senna every single time you're in lane, which is why you tend to see a lot of Karma, Ezreal into it.
I mean, to be fair, we didn't really talk about Sword last game. I thought Sword actually had a really nice game. Had that proactive play to get the flash out of Tomo, and then was able to preemptively flash to guarantee that 100 Thieves got the kill on the bot side. He rotated that first Rift Herald fight, which got Will out and made sure that 100 Thieves won it and went in their favor. And so I think Sword actually performed really well. And again, a sub coming in from 100 Thieves next, and system they feel like is very promising, as it's yet another mid lane role swap to support. So I thought Sword had a nice game, and hopefully able to continue it in the next one, as it does look like it's going to be that Callista Renata bot lane and Illusion Nami. Fireworks bot lane early, Mad Magical, something you love.
I do like some shenaniganeries abound, but I kind of want to go back and talk about Sword a bit, because honestly, I look at how that game went, and I think Mizzelle was even mentioning it. There were a lot of good pieces for 100 Thieves Academy, but they just didn't really click. The gears weren't all lining up perfectly to make sure the unit was a whole. And I think if they can with BMFX, I think Jimian, as long as they're able to communicate a little bit better, this is kind of like what we saw from Jimian when he first came over to Academy. Had some troubles communicating, didn't place the exact perfect like we expected of him from when we saw him in the PCS. But then as the season progressed, he started looking a lot cleaner. He started having better position. I mean, his Rise, his LeBlanc were absolutely disgusting to witness. So I want to see if after that one game, he could just bounce back, really work with someone like Sword to constantly move around the map and gain leads in these side lanes.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that matchup, again, it was difficult for Jimian. Yasuo is pretty good into the Ahri. Of course, Ahri is like all projectile damage, so that wind wall gets a ton of use. And Spirax played that wonderfully. I mean, him, again, stepping up level 3, that big chunk, that for the side of FlyQuest, and that is what helped push them forward overall.
To me, it's just looking at how they're going to be able to play around, certain things like that. Maybe now that they're on blue side, get a better matchup too, for at least Jimian. The Vladimir play was pretty good. That one was really good as well. I like that they were able to get that counter, but I also want to see something a little bit better for Jimian, so he doesn't get counterpicked by the ocean that is Spirax.
Yeah, Spirax, of course, his time in Amateur and Academy, or I should say even before Academy, Spirax was always known for having a very deep champion pool.
Yes.
So that is something that is good to see him, continue to show off. As I know the FlyQuest throughout the split, again, Spirax usually being rookies, they were pushing him, further and further, like outside of that comfort zone, and kind of opening up the strat book in terms of the champions picked. I like with Yuji's pathing is one that was for the tournament improvement grounds. Maybe it was a meta read they thought was just really good, or the way that their team was able to function best. But that is something that now that we're back in the regular season of Academy, of course, I want to see FlyQuest continue to innovate, continue to, push forward. And to be fair, in that first game, again, I thought Yuji had a fantastic response to what was a good level 1 invade from 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and here we are back in the Champ Select. From what I expect, it's going to be really similar. Not really going to see too much deviation, at least in the early stages of the draft. Still have Graves, still have the Viego Lucian, get the Renata Glass, probably going to be the Nami as well. It's into the next part that we'll see the real changes coming through.
Yeah, we'll see if that Victor ends up being banned still, as that might have been one of the mistakes. Not exactly sure, but hopefully we get this draft right. Of course, we are getting back to Academy
as though
week 1.
all the bans that we saw in the second rotation aren't the exact ones. We still see Olaf, so there we go. We got that, and it is a Victor.
Right, it's been a while. Of course, these teams have been scrimming to prep for the start of the season, but
Then what's the point of draft?
You know what, Mad Magical? I can always count on you to say something wild, and that is true. Spelling something in draft is the only way to play Clash, for sure.
Exactly.
So, I do respect that.
Exactly. Wait, this isn't Clash. Hold on.
Fortunately,
Oh, wait.
Beforehand, I was teasing the fact that FlyQuest, again, something unique that they do, blinding for Philip. So taking that gangplank for himself, and also taking away that Olaf. We are going to see 100 Thieves, though, actually opt into the Ornn gangplank matchup. So 100 Thieves, Ornn, Tenacity coming through, and it is going to be that blind Azir. So having that displacement for 100 Thieves, a little bit of playmaking for Jimmian. Curious to see what the answer is for Spirax. Not expecting the Yasuo this time, but a Veigar would be really good here.
Oh, man. See, this is what I kind of wanted to see coming in from... Well, I mean, I want to see a little bit more on the side of Jimmian getting the counter fake here. But there's only so much you can do, especially when Spirax is... that want to move around, but are very telegraphed in their movements, such as Kalista, such as Azir, such as Ornn. And Veigar is, I think, just one of these champions so many people forget about how powerful he is, purely because of the event horizon.
I mean, look at this game for Azir. It is Azir to function. I mean, you're going into the zone control of Gangplank and Veigar, not to mention the Lucian Nami combo. If you do, cast that ultimate as Lucian, combine that with the Nami E, a really easy way to control Azir and try and, put the Phoenix's wings before Azir gets going.
So I do hear that we have a bit of a pause in game right as it gets in. So we're going to keep up the champ select so we can continue to discuss this and how it all is going to flow. So I kind of want to look at both teams. And I will say one thing that I am excited with when it comes to 100 Thieves is this is a typical, front to back team fight composition where they have good tools. Ornn. I mean, people can meme it up, but he was doing really well on Ornn play when it came to the latter half of the split last year. And seeing how he can position against someone like Philip or Yuji to really split up the fight, since everyone's fairly squishy on that side. They're fairly susceptible. Even if we're on the durability patch, and I know they're not as squishy, you're not going to be tankier than an Ornn. So having this Ornn to really split up the fights actually is very useful.
I think it can help. It's obviously really good engage for 100 Thieves, which they did need from their top laner, given that Kalista, Renata, not, what you're looking to engage with, but I really like the draft that FlyQuest has. I think it's very difficult for 100 Thieves to function going into that draft. Because, again, look at all the zone control that Gangplank has. How is this Azir going to go in? If he goes in, it's going to be a one-way trip, and if he doesn't go in, it's you stand pretty still with those autos and with the soldiers, and you fall Gangplank barrels. It's going to be a really tough ask for Jimmy in this game, so we'll see if Jimmy is up to the task. I think it's a really difficult game to play Azir into a Veigar, into a Gangplank, and also
Nami
I love
too.
the Veigar-Viego combo. I like the upfront damage to get that first reset, so good for the side of FlyQuest.
So you want to know my favorite combo? Because I play Veigar support.
Okay.
I don't play him as much mid. I do play him mid, but not as much. What
That's
I think
like
is
the least crazy thing I've heard from you. So I do respect that. Yeah.
But my favorite combo is playing Veigar with Vayne AD carry. Because the Vayne
you
can
condemn
condemn into
okay, I like that.
It's like an actual legitimate thing. This is a legitimate thing.
Where's the Trundle? Where's the Anivia? You can get crazier in that match. You're missing out on an opportunity.
No. You go Trundle and Anivia on its own. That's its own thing. You pair those two up. Yeah. Or,
Just see how
honestly,
many units you can move someone back.
Yeah. But though I will say Poppy and Anivia is also a really fun bot lane.
That's a fun one,
Yeah. But Trundle and Poppy is even weirder because it's.
That's a terrible lane. Yeah, don't play that. Yeah. Do not play
you
that.
just
No, it's
fight
terrible.
the whole time. No, you just go and you fight. You flash forward aggressively because that's what it's used for, and you make sure you get kills level 1.
Actually, you know what lane that I actually think is really, really strong at the moment that I don't know if we're gonna see because it saw some nerfs.
What's up? Oh,
Brand Nami
yes,
is just a filthy, filthy bot lane at the moment.
Wait, have we seen the nerfs yet? I thought that was going to be next patch.
I don't know if it was 10B or if it was 1211 coming in 4th.
Right, that's why I have to, again, research
down.
that we'd have to do to make sure that we get it all up to par. Because I thought they were holding off on that until 1211.
It is a filthy lane. So I guess if you are at home, I think the patch did it hit today or does it hit tomorrow? If it's not patched yet, try it out on your own. If you can W the wave as Brand, and then you just E the wave, and if you E with Nami, the E it has an absurd range. You get this makes it really easy to hit your Q. and just do filthy damage. Chain it with Nami Bubble. Late game, you're a beast. It's really fun.
I actually heard Brandis, even though he does get a pretty sizable nerf when it comes to the burn damage on the max health, he's still pretty strong. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually
He does
see
a
him.
lot of damage.
Right, exactly. Especially in a durability patch where he's just like, yeah, percentage health damage instead of actually going through anything, that's difficult. He's just like, I'm just going to burn you to death. But that's not what we have in this game, Cubby. We don't have those. We instead have still fun picks. And I look at the side of each of them. What I really like that both teams have is what I like to call non-committal engage. You've got an Ornn and you've got a Nami. Both of them are really good at creating space without having to really invest too much. The only problem is for 100 Thieves, you called it out great. There's not just the one tool on the side of FlyQuest to have that non-committal engage. You got the Vygar, you've got the barrels coming in from Gangplank as well. Then you get the tidal wave as well from Nami. There's just a lot that they can do to engage it to you, Cubby, and ask you what are ways that 100 Thieves can come out of this on top.
I think that Ornn in this Gangplank matchup, yes, you do get Gangplank scales really well into it, enjoys that side lane, but early you do have good gank assist with the Ornn, and Graves does a lot of damage early. You also have to do last game. I'm wondering if 100 Thieves maybe goes for one of those plays, and then Glitz Renata pretty strong. So hopefully 100 Thieves, they have a couple things up their sleeves early, because I think FlyQuest scales really well.
And here we are. We're ready for our second game. Sorry about the delay with the pause, but we're back to see if we can have a clap back coming in from the side of 100 Thieves Academy, or if FlyQuest will show that they are going to be a top team. But everyone goes for the line of scrimmage at the moment. Nothing too fanciful. You know how I feel about that, Cody. Boo, boo. Where are the fights?
No fight.
Boo. Boo, boo, boo.
It's good mechanics. It's good stuff coming out from.
You know what's better mechanics? Fighting level 1.
Well, hey, what about some stacks level 1 for Spirax?
That I'll take that. I'll accept
that. We'll take that. Obviously, if you get stacks pre-level 1 as the Vygar, you must all chat GG. So hopefully Spirax is able to do that. We'll keep track.
Also, I'm gonna hold Spirax to flashing forward with Event Horizon.
Okay, I like that.
That's a bad magical special.
Yeah, if you track flashes, could be a good play. But at the moment, do want to stick to tracking these junglers. As it does look like each of these junglers will be starting on the top side of the map. And I also want to bring up real quick, we haven't seen a ton of Azir so far on this patch. I have seen Azirs that take Conquer just to stack that up during durability. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that. Jimmy looks to be opting, though, for the first strike. So a little bit of extra gold coming in for the Azir.
Yeah, just a little bit of extra gold and probably his way to get to the mid strength that Azir has that a lot of people forget. And even looking at having a Kliss on the team too for the same thing is how good they are at securing objectives like dragons and barons. How they can easily take that. If you just look the wrong way for a second against an Azir Kalista, they're going to take a baron right from underneath your nose.
It does give you a little bit more comfort when it comes to, flipping those objectives. Of course, the Kalista does do so much damage with the Rend as level 1. We are seeing the strength of that Lucian Nami. Level 2 hits. You gotta back off. Gotta respect that if you love Thieves and BMFX Sword. They know their place. They will take a step back as they are behind her.
Ooh! Ouch!
Yep.
Yeah, you were talking about them stepping back, and then all of a sudden, Tomo Diamond are like, nah, we're gonna do a ton of damage. And wait a minute, here's Will. Look on the side. Yuji's nearby as well. Tomo's doing a good job of kiting it back at the moment, trying to see if they can get the damage. The flash comes in. Who's gonna die first?
Oh!
With a double kill, maybe even making a triple kill. Sword underneath the turret. Cannot escape from the wrath of Yuji.
Will, welcome back to Academy. Yuji just read you like a book, does the 3-camp sprint to bot, finds the counter gank, and the attempt to shut down this Lucian Nami lane, it goes wayward as now Yuji sitting at 3. Huge play coming out from him as that was a beautiful counter gank on the side of Yuji and FlyQuest.
Exactly, and just looking at that raid from Yuji, like you talked about, is got a split now technically over that of Will, since Will played last year, had to break off while he focused on school and graduating. Yuji's gotten his practice. He's been doing a great job here in Academy so far. Learned the ropes and learned the trade as quickly as possible, and then, like you called out, read Will like a book.
And this really could not be a better start. For your junglers, we're going to take a second look. Again, 100 Thieves making this play, assuming that they aren't there. Also, the cleanse by Tomo's Lucian does get the ignite off him. And man, Yuji smiting the minion, making sure that stun lands, taking the graze. Even got the cinematics here as Yuji looking fancy with his triple kill. Shout out to our new team at Esports Engine with a sweet replay from our observers as well.
I like that.
Looking.
And you start off with a 3-0 Viego. That's gonna be rough for the side of 100 Thieves.
That's scary.
Yeah, I'm a little worried for them now because talking about how good they are in mid game. You get an Azir, you get a Kalista, gotta take these objectives quickly. But then you have scaling on the side of FlyQuest. You got a Viego, you got a Veigar, you got a Gangplank, and now looks like there might be another kill as Will try to greedily take a camp away from Yuji, who is right now the king of the jungle.
Just walking at him.
Chasing him down, exactly, walking at him menacingly, and still fighting.
Oh?
Aggressed Yuji, giving a kill over to Jimian.
Okay, a bit of a mistake from Yuji, as Spirax could not assist. Look at Spirax, no health, no mana. Jimian gets a 600 gold shutdown early and a blue buff. That's really important. Again, this Azir, it's really tough to function into the Gangplank and the Veigar as the game goes on. But for Azir, making sure that, Jimian has some of that early gold, this might open up more windows for him to try and roam, try and impact the map, and try and get those Shurima shuffles so 100 Thieves can snowball this game quickly, which I think they really need to do.
I think so as well. I want to see how Jimian moves around to try to help out Will. Maybe even look to try to punish Philip in the top lane a bit better this time around, especially because, as you had called out, the Ornn Gangplank matchup isn't the most favorable towards Ornn, even though Tenacity's doing a great job at battling against Philip and forcing him to play weak side. It's not like he's going to have utter kill pressure against this Gangplank.
We'll see as Jimian might be under siege here in the mid lane. Oh, we'll have to flash.
No! Jimian flashed right into the walls. They're looking for him with a flash forward. Easy Q kill for Spirax.
So I think that Jimian was looking for some sort of combo, like with the flash, then the Shurima shuffle, and then E around. Because if you get interrupted, you can't get out. So I think Jimian was looking to dodge out on that, but unfortunately, Flash goes a little bit too far, does hit the cage, and that bird going to be kept in the cage as Jimian hits the death screen. That's going to open up first dragon for FlyQuest, as again, this game continues to get back on track for them, and FlyQuest off to a beautiful start.
You ever watch Monty Python?
Oh, of course.
So it just reminds me of the dead parrot skit. Where it's like, it is a dead parrot. It is no longer a parrot. It is deceased. But oh no, he's just resting. He's just resting. Norwegian bluebacks do that.
Yeah, that's what I like to say. My pets growing up, they're just always resting. That's where it's at.
Wait, Yuji even goes over a ward? Okay, this is a bit surprising.
He cleans it out.
No, it's more that Jimian's still playing aggressively, knowing that Viego's bot right there.
Aggro.
And that's the only problem I have with the play.
If the pace come out from the side of Yuji, he got to get out of there, but Jimian not able to spot it. Ends up dying for his sins as Spirax sends him into that gray screen. And tough start here for the Thieves.
He dissolves along with the sands of time that he is. And that's a lot of stacks now for Spirax. I'm curious to see if we can hover over that soon to catch on exactly how many stacks this Veigar has. Because I'm expecting it actually probably is around 50 at the moment.
And of course, Spirax, once the Veigar gets doubles, Spirax has a blue buff. The matchup gets really comfortable for Veigar. You are just free farming, free scaling, as he's currently at 67 stacks, so pretty good guess there, Mad Magical. And yeah, we'll see if...
Like I play Veigar a bunch.
Hey, we'll see if FlyQuest can utilize that push they're going to have now in the mid lane to try and secure this first Rift Herald. Because, again, FlyQuest already up 2k gold. Great start to the game for them, but now, curious if they will shift the power of their bot lane to go up top, but I think FlyQuest are content to just let Tomo Diamond run this lane, because they are up huge, and that lane is in a tough spot for 100 Thieves. It's pushing away from them.
Will try to take the Rift Herald. Yuji will spot him out. They know he's there. The rotations from 100 Thieves with tenacity nearby. Predator has been popped by Spirax. They could have looked for a further play. They decide to fall back and just let Will take it, so they instead can go towards the bottom half of the map.
Oh, they might be setting up for a dive here, as Spirax
Oh,
does
they're
have shove
100% setting up for a dive.
Hit stop for this red buff. That will be the look at his 100 Thieves Academy, their bot lane, intelligently recognizing that, stepping back, not giving FlyQuest any window to dive them, but the damage is done. Look at the CS differential bot. Third plate about to go over to Tomo and Diamond, as they have been utilizing this Lucian Nami to the fullest.
Cheat codes, man, and here's Jimian. About to suffer a similar fate that we saw just a couple minutes ago. Deja vu, I've been in this place before.
Shutdown coming out. Once that stun connects, he is dead. Yuji being able to buffer that Shurima, or I should say the Emperor's Divide. No shuffle was had there as Jimian back to the gray screen. 100 Thieves falls further and further behind as, man, this map has just not gone their way. Again, once you get 3 kills on a Viego, it's pretty tough to play the rest of the game out if you are 100 Thieves Academy, especially in the bot lane. But I think that, again, this draft was so hard for them to execute. Because Azir is just so tough to function into Viger Gangplank as this game goes on. And credit to FlyQuest, they're making sure this Azir is going down on the Jimian after the shutdown. He picked up on the UG. Jimian has not been allowed to do anything else.
I mean, this is that point when if you're playing this in a scrim, players and coaches are going to like, all right, FF, next one, please. This is over. This is doomed. We don't want to play this one out.
We're at the, like, I want one team fight situation. That's where we're at right now.
I don't know, because right now, everyone's getting solo killed on the side of FlyQuest. FlyQuest are just fighting, and if it wasn't for Will showing up at the perfect time, Tenacity probably would have died to Philip.
Yeah, almost had another, Tenacity orange joke, but fortunately, Will going to be able to save that. Tenacity did play that very well. It was a very nice setup on his part. Philip going to be set behind, doesn't have TP to get back to that wave, as UG looking to answer on the bot lane here, but it's actually pretty good contest coming out of 100 Thieves Academy, as at least BMFX is able to trade evenly.
I was about to say, Tomo's going to heal up, and now Yuji's here. He could easily look for a further play, but instead they decide to make the calm, collected call of taking down more plates and get more gold over to Tomo.
And this bot lane is disaster, as BMFX being welcomed into Academy through fire, as Jimian dancing around the Everfrost. Spirax not able to connect with it. Jimian will be able to get the wave in, and at least able to get a reset here for 100 Thieves Academy. Again, things are looking dire, but at least they are trying to weather the storm.
See, I was a little worried for Jimian, because he was hanging around that mid lane after seeing Yuji nearby again. I'm like, come on, you've learned the lesson twice now. No need to stay overextend and give another kill or more stacks over to Spirax, and thankfully he did back. Again, already stacking them up early for FlyQuest, a similar play we saw in the past.
And look at the inventory of our 2 marksmen this game, Mad Magical, as that is a plus Caulfield's for the Lucian, as he is sprinting top to try and knock down another turret and try and contest this Rift Herald, this 100 Thieves Academy. Props to them. They do drop that dragon because of all the bot lane pressure that FlyQuest have created for themselves.
Okay, get this.
Well, at least try and get a couple plates here. That will be all. They know that the bot lane is rotating up. They must respect it.
I thought they might have been able to actually get that, but like you said, they were giving some respect. They have Tenacity here, but he doesn't have the Call of the Forge God up yet. Should be up in just a couple seconds if they want to look for a play. They are fully sending this, waiting to see Tomo and Diamond overextend, but can they actually win that fight is really the question.
Tomo, Diamond, we'll see if they show. Tomo, he smells that something's up. They don't see anyone on the map here. 400 Thieves Academy as we get the vision toggle from our observers. Diamond That sweeper's now expired. Uh-oh.
Oh, and the flash comes in, but that's tidal wave. Deny. No, they do get the knockup coming in. And
that's
with
big.
the hostile takeover as well. Diamond's still barely alive, but they've already lost Tomo. Bot lane is gone, and 100 Thieves clap back.
And the risky call for the Thieves, it pays off. As you could see, FlyQuest, they knew that something was up, but 100 Thieves able to stick around, able to make that happen. And honestly, I really like the roll of the dice here for 100 Thieves. Again, this game is not going their way. It's not getting any better. And uh-oh, DFX, he could be going down.
Oh no, yeah,
good
Yuji,
flash, good flash.
3, 1, and 2, but with that little bit of damage coming in, that's just not enough to stop the rampage from this jungler. He takes down in a 2v1 fight one member and looks for the second. The sword now running for the hills, but we gotta go turn mid lane because that was a nice Shurima shuffle, trying to use the Emperor's Divide onto Spirax, and they get the shutdown necessary. All the while, Yuji finally chases down Sword.
A little bit of a shutdown going over to the side of Sword, but I'd say Yuji gonna take that gold in his pockets, but still 100 Thieves Academy actually able to make some plays. That's a big solo kill going over to Jimian in the mid lane, man. Magical, as we have talked about some of the scaling. Really like the scaling on the team that has the Vigar on this game. So I think that FlyQuest gets stronger over time, which is why I really like 100 Thieves really trying to push the pace of this game now. They realize they have to make plays now in order to have a chance to win this game, and to be fair, the risk they're taking, it's paid off and has at least made this game a lot more interesting as we approach the mid-game.
Agreed. And they're making sure that they're, even if it looked really doom and gloom at the beginning, like I was calling out where a lot of teams would just give up in scrims, it was very bad. But here, they've gotten some kills where they need to. They've gotten them onto Will. Will's now looking like he's going to be able to get that Eclipse in just a couple backs. There it is. He actually gets it right off of that back. I thought it was going to be one more necessary. So he's actually a little bit up on the person who's super fed on the side of FlyQuest.
Those shutdowns do feel pretty good on the side of Will. 100 Thieves Academy is going to take a second look. And again, Tomo Diamond, they know something's up. You can see the sweepers popped, throwing abilities in the brush, playing this as well as they can, but sweeper runs out. And says hello, ends up landing
It's the jump scare, right? It's just, you get jump scare.
Yeah. And Tenacity ends up landing a great ultimate. So once that two-man Call the Forge God connects, Sword follows up, making everyone go berserk. Tomo and Diamond, they turn against each other after all these years. Unfortunately, end up taking each other down, and it at least gives 100 Thieves a small leg to stand on in this game that are favored.
But they still are down about 1,500 gold to that of FlyQuest. So 100 Thieves making this play for another Rift Herald to try to get more gold. This is a play that they have to have work, but I also am looking at the Dragon. With an Ocean Dragon on the Rift in 45 seconds, they've still got to make sure they're denying the stacking potential that FlyQuest has been gaining for themselves yet again in this game. All the while in the bot lane, Tenacity's just battling over with 2 members and dies because of it.
Nice rotation from Spirax as it is Shelly in the pockets of Will, but I think this Dragon's really important, and the fact that Tenacity doesn't have ultimate now, again, scaling for 100 Thieves, I don't think it favors them this game. So this Dragon, if I'm in the pocket, or if I'm in comms for 100 Thieves Academy, I feel like I have to contest this Dragon, try and make a play. The fact that Tenacity uses ult and goes down early makes it all the more likely that FlyQuest can secure this, but Shelly will be dropped.
Ooh, they got a good amount of damage there.
Some control.
They got a lot of damage onto Tomo, down to half, forcing out a lot of the mana coming in from Diamond, as well as getting that turret. Yeah, Tenacity TP'd right to Spirax, and Spirax was able to at least answer that with a lot of damage onto that turret, but Shelly's still alive. Shelly's going to be able to get a secondary charge here in mid lane. It won't get the turret as a whole, but it's still getting a lot of damage to set up for the side of 100 Thieves, who can now rotate down towards this Dragon.
And they spot Philip, who doesn't have Cannon Barrage. So we'll see if 100 Thieves can spot the members of FlyQuest. As Tenacity.
Oh, they just look for Tenacity. They force a flash. They force a lot out of him. Now it's 100 Thieves who have the inside track onto this Dragon.
Philip is above them. If he's able to hit a big barrel chain, oh no!
Oh, they got at least.
Oh!
He's looking for the kill onto Philip. They'll be able to take him down with a hostile takeover doing a little bit of damage on the spear onto the Dragon coming in from Will. He's now got to get out of the pit, sacrificing Tenacity for it.
But honestly, Sword, props to him. That Renata W, the do or die. use the Emperor's Divide and at least trade out a kill. The play doesn't go in favor of 100 Thieves, but the fact they took a dragon, I think, really important for them.
Yes. It delays a little bit of that scaling that we were talking about from FlyQuest. We were stacking up the dragons early, slows down the pace, and maybe even gives them a little bit of a window when it comes to things I was talking about, like the Baron. So when we take a look at this replay, we got to look at the positioning, especially I want to look at where Sword is.
I mean, again, I feel like 100 Thieves, they just want to throw their big AoE ultimates into the river. The big part, though, is the fact that Jimian was able to have the do or die. Yes, he goes down, but at least Jimian was able to get out enough damage because he is one of the members that is pretty fed for the side of 100 Thieves Academy. And that ultimate from Sword also buys space for 100 Thieves to mount this dragon. Yes, Tenacity goes down in the end, but I think 100 Thieves, they would rather lose a member compared to FlyQuest and take that dragon. That's big for 100 Thieves. It does at least prevent that.
Exactly, and this is when we're starting to see a little bit more power for the side of 100 Thieves. This is when that mid-game composition that we had talked about before really does have more that they can do, but they will fall off eventually. So they got to be careful with how they're playing up against FlyQuest and look to see if they can continue to escalate things out of control.
Jimian? Oh, Jimian had an angle there to potentially split Spirax and Yuji, but does not go for it.
I think it would have been risky because Philip had Cannon Barrage still.
And Yuji can buffer Emperor's Divide with the Viego ult. Go for that play, but that was a little bit risky. And also, I think we're seeing signs of the durability patch as Jimian, look at his second item, recognizing how much burst damage this Vigar has gone for second item Demonic Embrace. And I really like this combo with the Andres as
whoa.
He's going to get out of trouble.
Do they start Baron? Yeah, they saw that members were going down to bot lane to try to see if they can answer Phil, so they can immediately go. Even if you see it, everyone's on the bottom half.
Tenacity has empowered TP coming off cooldown shortly. We'll see if it is in time, but I think this thing is just gone.
I don't think it's in time. Yeah, I think it's going to be gone before they can answer. 100 Thieves now are here nearby. Tidal Wave onto Will, and they're going to be able to secure that Baron FlyQuest.
They got to push.
They've gotten away with highway robbery, but now they've got escape from this fight. They've got a little bit of damage on both sides, but here's Tenacity. That non-committal engage can really start to come in dividends, and he's going to be TPing into this one with the Cannon Barrage, trying to see if it can delay the fight coming in from 100 Thieves, and that is going to be a knock-up only onto one member. They're stopping these recalls. They've got one kill. No, it's going to be two that are picked up.
Look at Diamond. How low is Diamond?
And even though Jimmy is able to get one back, from Jimian with the Emperor's Divide, knocking back, but Yuji wants this so badly. Jimian, quadra kill. Tomo's the last surviving member with the Baron buff, but they can't chase this down unless they use that TP that Jimian has. He's recalling back from the fight. If they can stop Tomo from getting back, that make sure that entire Baron play is for nothing out of FlyQuest.
That was a nasty team fight from Jimian. Again, cannot emphasize how difficult it is to play Azir into Gangplank, into Vigar, into Viego. Watch how Jimian pilots the back half of this play because it is a great call from FlyQuest. They have Philip, they really just send in the helicopter rescue mission and say, join us, we'll take the Baron together. They aren't able to get out because 100 Thieves were collapsing in time, but all eyes on Jimian for this next part of the play because he is the one that turns this.
This is a great play from Jimian. This is him in game one because I know what he's capable of. How with this Azir play.
At the back half, how he plays this with Yuji. Watch this. He is going to ult, and then once Yuji flashes, he just flashes over that wall, over that divide. So Yuji can't get around it, can't get over it. Yuji used his ultimate, used that. Now we get back into live, Tomo.
Jump back to live. It was just one call of the Forge got damage onto Tomo. He's down pretty low. So now you have this play where 100 Thieves have that position if they want to try to set up for a contest around the dragon and make sure that dragon stacking isn't there for the side of FlyQuest, but they still got to be careful. They got to be cautious. They're taking a little bit of chunk of damage, all while trying to push that vision control back.
Couple ultimates burned. Both top laners now don't have access to that big ult, especially for 100 Thieves. That is their engage tool. So we'll see if 100 Thieves even feels comfortable starting a fight. I think with Ornn.
No.
Cage. So we're going to see 100 Thieves back off, stick to the lane, try and take mid inner. as FlyQuest do take that dragon and put themselves on soul point. As Predators pop, they're trying to collapse.
Yeah, and look at where Tenacity is. He's nowhere near, and he doesn't even have TP to be able to join in. They're looking for Will.
Oh, no.
That's a lot of damage, but
Oh,
all he
no.
needs is a Primordial Burst to finish him off, and they've got a burn on top of him. He's still alive.
Watch
Snipes
Jimmy.
down onto the crook,
play
but
for
here's
Cage.
Jimmy looking to
They're
see
playing-
if he can save his teammates, but Yuji's got the flank angle. He's already there, and Spirax can flash forward if he needs
that's
to
big.
be able to put down the baby cage, but they get a lot of damage coming in from Jimmy and on the other side, and this is a 4v5 fight. This is
And this is
all
whack.
100 Thieves kiting back.
This is just wacky because that Azir passive was dropped in the top lane. The FlyQuest don't feel comfortable diving this turret. But the mini waves at least going to come. Now Jimmy, he does have a Banshee's Veil, but he's all alone. What can Jimmy do?
Well, Jimmy could look for a
Nice
miracle,
ult.
but a buffer you
Yeah.
talked about earlier was done by Yuji to make sure they finally slay the beast.
Really well played by... Honestly, the fact they only dropped one member on that retreat, somewhat of a miracle, if we're going to be honest. I know it's Jimmy
yeah.
and the shutdown goes over, but that could have been way worse if Azir did not have access to his passive because Tenacity had no ult. So it would have been a fight where you're really just praying for Sword to hit a big hostile takeover, or else things would have went real sour.
That they would have. It was definitely a dicey fight for both sides, and looking at how 100 Thieves were able to kite back, even if they lose Jimmy Eventually, like you talked about. It's a minor loss that you had there. You got the turret in the bot lane for Tenacity, who didn't even have TP to join in the fight in the beginning, so it delays a lot of time from FlyQuest from finding themselves these objectives.
And now Baron is up in 90 seconds as FlyQuest still looking to take down this mid outer.
It's pretty low, though.
Oh boy, that's a good angle.
Double knockup. Looking for Tomo. Tomo's kiting back.
Oh,
with
big
a
ult.
hostile takeover.
That's huge.
Sword. Make sure they can get him and Yuji as well with a shutdown on top of it.
Was not able to have a takedown. Philip still pushing on the side, but I love the fight, love the engage from 100 Thieves. Is again, I really think this is a difficult team comp for them to pilot into, especially this Azir. They're doing it wonderfully. A lot of it's off the back of Tenacity. The plays he's finding on the Ornn as now Philip falls.
That damage from Jimmy and wasting away poor Philip there.
Take down 3 members. Recalls are a little bit split, but it feels like they're kind of utilizing this just to fix their map state, as a lot was used, a lot was dropped for them to try and set up for those plays. And of course, with BMFX down, it's not like they have any waves to try and push for any of these inner turrets. So I still feel like it's a positive play for 100 Thieves, and credit for them. I mean, they keep on cutting into this gold lead. Keep in mind, it was a 3K gold lead for FlyQuest at the 8-minute mark. The fact 100 Thieves are only down 2K now with ornaments coming in, it's a pretty close game we have here.
And it was this play too. The combo
Sword, man.
from Ornn and from Sword, that was just perfectly placed where it's not even it's a very condensed area.
I really feel like Sword is having a very strong set. Again, as a sub, performing admirably. The support for 100 Thieves next, still one of the top amateur teams that we have in that ecosystem. Sword proving that he is able to step up, is able to do the best that he can to try and give his academy team the best. Of course, still getting back from Korea, that experience with the LCS team. But returning to this game, Mad Magical, Baron is on the table. We are a minute 15 from Ocean Dragon. Still feel like Ocean Dragon is going to be that big objective because, of course, it is soul point for FlyQuest. But 100 Thieves, we'll see how fast they can push around this Baron. As you cited earlier, Ren makes it so you can play a bit more aggressive around this objective if you want to.
Well, it's Rand and Azir. The combination of the two on top of an objective like that can be massive, and that's why FlyQuest don't want to let them have any sort of advantage around it.
Sword.
And that was a nice baby cage to be able to pick up a kill on the Will. Jungler is gone. Even if Sword survives, they lost.
And I love this from FlyQuest. They don't need to start the Baron. They just want to do this Dragon. So immediately, take the fast track. Go mid. Cut 100 Thieves off. Make sure that this mid wave is prepped. You can get more. FlyQuest just preventing 100 Thieves from taking any shortcuts. This mid-inner will fall to them for free.
And after that, they can look to set up some vision around the Ocean Dragon and possibly pick up Soul for themselves. They've got plenty of time to wait it out and wait to see if they can force a fight out of 100 Thieves.
See the TP coming in from Jimmy, and they know that they have to try and get mid-push. It's going to be difficult
No.
to try and
It's a
fight
trade.
this
It's a
Dragon.
trade.
They're out.
It's a
yeah,
trade.
they're out.
No. I like this. I like this. I like what they're doing.
Okay, they're trying to flip it. I think FlyQuest is going to have Philip stay. He has TP, so he's going to solo out the dragon. That's Ocean Soul for FlyQuest. Will is not here, but they have Ren. So we'll see how aggressive Hunter Thieves plays around this Baron as it's already at half.
It is melting down. They can still try to see if they can contain this from the south, but the knockback didn't work from Tenacity. He was blocked by...
They're off. Oh, no.
The play does not go well.
Oh, it's tragic for the side of Hunter Thieves as it got to 4K. They couldn't find the turn as the Ornal did not connect. Tenacity now. This just might be Baron over to the side of FlyQuest again.
Is.
It's no Ornhorn. There's no... Feels terrible.
Then Horizon cleansed away by Tenacity having switched out the summoners. They've got an angle though. Look at Jimmy. Jimmy's on the other side. They've already got the kill onto one, but now Jimmy's taking a lot of pressure from Tomo. He gets alive with the bailout. He's bailed out of the fight.
Wow.
Picks up a double kill for him. Well, Yuji might be able to finally take him down. They've lost so much from the play. FlyQuest, they looked like they had everything working out well, but then a miracle play from 100 Thieves forces the remaining two members into their jungler away from their home.
They gotta push hard. Burn Flash will. Oh, Yuji.
He's got the plays, the mechanics up.
No way.
Then we'll see it again. Even if Diamond's on the other side, he doesn't continue the fight. Instead, bailing himself out of there.
Okay, I think that if Yuji ulted, he would have been able to pick up Sword and try and get another reset, but instead, they're just going to make sure that Yuji survives the smite on their own, and it's still a huge win for FlyQuest. Yes, it's a crazy game. 18-18. Only a 2K gold lead for FlyQuest, but guess what? We're coming out onto an even map state where FlyQuest now has Ocean Soul to their name.
And here, at the moment, we get to see this replay of what had happened before. We got to look at Spirax, because Spirax tries to create distance for himself, but it puts himself in a vulnerable position.
It's huge for Tenacity, because he had Cleanse with the Spellbook. So that enables him to get out of the event Horizon and actually split Spirax from everyone else, where Jimmy and stay alive, pick up two, and force a lot of tools out of FlyQuest as they lost out on the fight, but fortunately for them, again, got Ocean Soul, prevented the Baron trade for 100 Thieves Academy. They'll be very happy with that result now as they get back out of the map.
Both teams trying to set up around this Baron. A little bit of a waltz between the two, but instead of a waltz, it's a blitz. Wait. 100 Thieves are put.
Oh, no.
Look at that. You cannot let them have any time with it. This is what I was talking about, Cubby.
We'll see if Tenacity casts ult to try and stop bases, or to try and turn a fight as FlyQuest are hunting. Predators pop, but I think they get out.
Yeah, they all get out.
Wow.
The only one who remains is Jimmy in the top lane, but he'll be out of there too.
All right, it's a banger, baby. Academy's back. Week 1. We've already got a good game. As it's 18-18, we're trading monster objectives across the map. We have an Elder spawning Mad Magical. This is what I missed. This is what I wanted back. This is peak Academy. Just throw down.
And well, it's also what I was talking about before. When you have a Kalista Azir combo on your team, they melt Baron. It is just a... That FlyQuest, I think, just underestimated how much... They're like, okay, we can push mid, reset, get there, and it's like, nope, it's already gone.
And I know I've spent so much time talking about how, you know, this game Azir does really struggle into the Gangplank and the Veigar. But I haven't really spent a ton of time talking about the 100 Thieves. Tomo, low-range marksman, you're going into the Thaudy Graves, who is going to outburst you. You're going into Azir, where if you ever dash forward, you're going to take half your health and damage from an auto-Q auto from Azir. I think that, you know, both teams have carries that are really difficult to pilot in these team fights. And I know I focused a lot of time on talking about how it's been difficult for Jimmy on the Azir, but I feel like we've seen Tomo have a very quiet game despite that massive lead he had in lane, and still has now if you look at the scoreboard when it comes to CS.
Still has the Flame Horizon going on. Still's got a good amount of gold. He's got 4 items in his inventory compared to the 3 on the other side of him. And the deficit that you're seeing from this mid lane
Yeah.
Sure that Viego that built up a force of nature is not going to be able to survive.
Okay, 100 Thieves are going to get back out on the map with 1 minute to Elder. I still think for FlyQuest, if they front-to-back team fight, their team comp is heavily favored. You have Philip now with IE crits. You have Spirax's inventory where it is Death Cap, Void Staff, plus a stopwatch so he can step up. 100 Thieves have to find an angle and have to try and take Veigar out of the fight early. Because if 3 or 4 event horizons come down, or if this Ornn ultimate is not effective, it is so difficult for 100 Thieves to try and fight this.
They did it last fight, though, Cubby. They were able to find the Veigar away, split the baby elephant from the mama elephant, kill him off, and then turn around the fight. If it hadn't been for Yuji, it would have... They've got the pressure. Tenacity not going to be able to connect anyone.
The Gangplank barrel.
But that took a lot of damage, forcing out that redemption. They've got that inside track still. It's 20 seconds until we're going to have the Elder.
Phil playing that very well, landing a critical chunk. Now 100 Thieves, they can't check the Dragons, so they're pushing up mid, but now they're stuck. Good Cannon Barrage.
Cannon Barrage, I like that. Tidal Wave, going to be able to get a triple knock-up as well on the other side with the 100 Thieves far from home. They've got to be careful. Predator has been popped, and they're just constantly gaining health back, but not the side of 100 Thieves. They're the ones getting pressured back constantly, over and over again, now trying to see if they can retreat back towards a favorable position so they can contest the Elder Dragon.
And it's the Ocean Soul. And Tenacity, he's going to have ult coming back up, but this should be bursted down by the side of FlyQuest. 100 Thieves can't get here in time. This is gone.
Well, let's see. There could be a miracle, a hope, and a prayer for 100 Thieves, but there is none that remains. No salvation with Elder on the side of FlyQuest. They can look for these plays. They can look to chase down the members.
The front to back from FlyQuest reigns supreme at the end of the day as they continue the chase with Elder.
Will should be dead by all rights. Even if he's not, they've got minions to back up, and 100 Thieves now pushed back into their base. They've fought valiantly. So far, they were down quite a bit at the beginning, and it looked like it was going to be their game to reclaim and get a comeback, but FlyQuest say no. We are here to win 2-0. Even though they don't have the minions anymore, they still have that Elder Dragon to pressure these members of 100 Thieves Academy underneath their next turrets.
And there's no reason for them to retreat. They have Elder, they have Ocean Soul to top them off with the Nami too. These health bars are full. 100 Thieves do not have the Ornn ult again, and it's going to be Event Horizon after Event Horizon to buy space.
Barrage. Look at Tenacity, still pretty tanky, still healing up. They've got one Nexus turret though. They're forcing back FlyQuest. They've got, Jimmy's back up, and he has TP, but it would be risky, especially with the Elder Dragon still being...
There's no Ornn Horn as Tenacity. Oh, Philip.
Early Oranges make him okay, but geez, that got it close.
Okay, watch Tenacity. He's about to top himself off. There are 2 wards that he could go to behind FlyQuest. He does have Ornn Horn back up. This could be where 100 Thieves thinks about pulling the trigger. He could have went to. Will not be the call.
It would have been risky.
Instead,
it would have been very risky.
It's risky, but you have to take risk at this point. I don't think you opt into fighting for, against an Elder Dragon team, of course, but that was one angle where 100 Thieves can look. Now, fortunately for them, they do have map control. So if they are able to get shove, they can prep a couple wards behind FlyQuest and see if they can find an angle. Because we saw what happens if 100 Thieves fronts to backs the team fights against this comp. If they aren't able to connect those ultimates and make it a clean engage, they will fall victim to the poke of the Gangplank and the control of the Veigar. So I think it's really important that 100 Thieves are able to try and catch someone out. Because if they do not get the first kill, this game will go in FlyQuest's favor.
Elder is about to time.
Oh, smite.
In just a second, and all the while, Baron has spawned.
Something really small there. The smite to get the Banshees off of Jimmian from Yuji. Really, really like that from him.
I do too. He's been using that a lot to try to make sure he can get rid of the Banshee's Veil constantly, and now they got a baby cage. They block in the god himself, but you can't contain him fully. Instead, he's going to heal back up with the Redemption helping on the other side. Well, FlyQuest still have the inside angle. They could look to see if they can peel back for the Baron, but they still got to be so careful, especially with a knockup on Spirax like that. But a nice bubble, make sure they can't. Hostile takeover will at least slow them down for the time being, while Yuji is burning on the other side, just taking one soldier to the face coming in from Jimmy, and now suddenly we're seeing this advantage on the side of 100 Thieves, even if BMX almost looked like he was going to fall as well. He might still fall.
No.
Sneaky,
not like
sneaky. There it is. He's got one, but Jimmy, and make sure it is no more than the one.
FlyQuest still have the fast track to mid. Again, we've seen this time and time again. FlyQuest will try and cut off 100 Thieves, try and land these big event horizon sword. He's dead. No BM effects.
He's deleted from this game. That was a lot of damage quickly, and with 2 members now fallen on the side of 100 Thieves, FlyQuest are pinging the Baron to secure.
But we'll see if FlyQuest plays for the Baron or the turn. It's at half.
Side of FlyQuest. With the tidal wave, going to be able to get the Banshee's Veil. Jimmy and Body blocked by Tenacity, making sure they're going to be fine, but they're going to be able to secure the Baron. They don't go any further than that. They just forfeit the objective.
Will relegated to taking a Wolf Camp as FlyQuest continues to push forward. This really should be FlyQuest game at this point. But, man, honestly, it's been a heck of an effort from the side of 100 Thieves. Scaling that FlyQuest has, 100 Thieves really should not have nearly as much business being in this game and making it as close as it actually is now. I feel like some of the risks they took in the mid game were much needed, but at this point, it's got to be FlyQuest looking for that 2-0, as they are really just putting the icing on the cake of what has been beautiful play from them to kick off this season.
Here, looking at Death's Door for 100 Thieves here in the second game. It's funny, because you look at the first game, and you'd think that this was going to just be a slam out, especially if it ends up being a 2-0 for FlyQuest. But they have fought so hard in this second game with such a disastrous beginning to the fight, to this entire game. Yet still here, nearly 40 minutes in, we have 21 kills on the side of FlyQuest, 19 on the side of 100 Thieves, with a 5,000 gold lead separating the 2 teams. We're getting to the point when gold doesn't really matter. The gold lead's not going to really do much when everyone's fully built.
For 100 Thieves to take any real estate in the bot river, she got to go through those event horizons as Tenacity is spotted. He has an angle.
Backline, Tenacity going to be the focus, but they're going to be able to get a lot of damage on Spirax. He's still alive. He's gone golden, perfectly timed to make sure that even if he does eventually fall, it's Tomo cleaning up house. They've got everybody. It's an ace for FlyQuest.
West utilizing the disengage, the zone control they have to take down the Thieves. A valiant effort again. But honestly, the members who stepped up big for FlyQuest in this series, what a game from both UG and Spirax again. First, the Diana Yasuo snowballing that game forward. Now, the Viego from UG went massive. The Spirax Bygar scaled. And FlyQuest take that 2-0.
2-0 for FlyQuest. One game they dominated, and the second game was well fought between the 2 squads. But only one team can come out on top. And what a way to start off this season, especially for one of the few teams that we had that all 5 members the same from the spring.
And some of the plays that, I really like, again, UG, reading that level 3 gank, understanding that if he goes to match, they are stronger at that time with Lucian Nami. These are the plays that I feel like the full clear he wasn't really opened up to make plays that aggressive in Proving Grounds. They were looking to make plays for that first Dragon, have quieter early games, and lean into scaling. But we know that UG is just this mechanical freak. He is someone that has hit, Challenger on like 3 different servers with a 100-plus ping. He was ranked 5 NA at some point. We know that UG has game. He's able to carry games like this. And the fact that he was freed up in that game to go make that counter gank, whether that was called by Diamond, whether that was called by UG and FlyQuest, it was the perfect start that FlyQuest needed that game. And while it was a little bit bumpy, thanks to some nice plays from 100 Thieves, they were still the ones.
Take it cleanly. They're still really good. At the same time, they're from the last split. But honestly, I'm really happy to see that this team that stayed together still can show that they are here to try to replicate that late season push that they had last time.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm excited to see rounds. They were not, the 8th place Academy team that we had for regular season. So I think that, FlyQuest moving forward and kind of growing, evolving as this team, I really like their build. Again, that young top side, this bot side that has played together a while and showed they can be really strong, just completely dominating lane both of these games. Again, Mad Magical. While the team fights didn't
It
go
was a
Tomo and
great
Diamond's
show
way,
from them.
yeah, they got really far ahead.
They did, and now we're going to toss to a break. When we come back, we'll have a lovely interview with our host, Mazel, and I believe Spirax. So make sure you stay tuned.
Welcome on back to the Verizon post-game interview, and I've got FlyQuest Academy's Spirax, the legendary mid laner, coming off a 2-0 victory over 100 Thieves Academy. My goodness, to come in. I know it's not the same team that plays second in Proving Grounds, but first, such a dominant win, having stuck together as a squad and coming to represent like FlyQuest should.
It definitely feels good, considering our first our first series last fight was the complete opposite, where we got destroyed. and actually, dude, it took us like 2 weeks for us to get our first win. But yeah, so it definitely feels a lot better this time around.
It was a little bit differing games. First game, strong, dominant, came out the game the gates running. Game 2, as we were saying before we were talking, you're like, it should have ended at like 25 minutes, but it ended up going to 40-minute banger. How does it feel to kind of have that duality of games as your first representation in Academy Summer?
I mean, second game was a lot more stressful, just because the first game was kind of in our control the whole game, and I think second game should have went like pretty similarly, where we had some miscommunications and that sort of stuff. So the game ended up being a Herald fight pretty much.
Hey, first series of the season, can't ask for too much more, I would say. the team did foreshadow too, you guys did stick together in the offseason. It's the same squad you're running with into summer. I want to zoom in to you as a piece of that squad. How has that been for you? Being able to kind of have that consistency as a player, kind of.
Uh, not sure if I'm the most consistent player out there, but I've definitely been playing like better, I would say, than I was during the spring split. Well, this is just one series, so you can't really,
Mhm.
I might
Yeah,
win
yeah,
tomorrow,
absolutely.
or in the next
Hey,
series,
you never know.
but more confident in my play, and I feel more confident in our like team play in general.
Did y'all do anything in the off season? You got any cool stories? What was your most memorable moment with the team in the off season, if you did anything?
I wasn't really with the team during the off season, and I'd say my most memorable moment was just me feeding a wild raccoon.
All right, I might need a little breakdown of that. Hold on, you got to give me the full story here for people that don't know. Come on, what you got?
Yeah. Okay, so I traveled to some place, and there's like a bunch of raccoons out there. And one day I kind of like animals, and one day I just saw
Same,
one, and I
same.
had food with me, so I tried feeding it, and that's pretty much it.
You got a raccoon friend off the top. I love it. That's some serious off-season growth there, Spirax. I will say.
Thank you.
Um, I gotta ask then, what do you feel like the lofty goals are for this very cohesive FlyQuest Academy squad this split?
Mm, just being more consistent. Also,
Mhm.
5th/6th place, I believe. So we're trying to aim higher this time around.
I like it. Hey, always good to have a positive mindset. I do want to shift focus a little bit. You are one of our rising from collegiate stars, and Maryville themselves are going to be a part of CELOL this week. So, do you have any words of encouragement? Do you have any thoughts on Maryville going into CELOL, trying to claim another championship?
Mm, just good luck, guys. Odd Orange, you got it. And that's it. That's all I have.
All right. Hey, just quick words, quick affirmations. It's totally fine. Do you have anything in I guess in your prep for this new season that you took away from that time that you spent at Maryville in off season? Do you have anything that you really worked on while you were there?
I mean, I was kind of having wrist issues during the first regular
Mhm.
season, which didn't allow me to play the game as much as I would have wanted to. A lot better. So I get to
Okay.
play
I
more,
like
I guess. Get some more practice in.
Right. I was gonna say, make sure you take care of that wrist. We have Kungus, he takes care of gamer wrists. I don't know if you need to do some workouts with him, but let's make sure your wrists are all right because your play has been splendid just to kick off the season. I gotta ask you personally, Spirax, what are your goals as a player? Lay it all out there for everyone here at the start of this split. What are your goals for the rest of summer?
Just be better. Forehead.
Just be better. All right, hey, I like it. We'll definitely have to try and clip that one. Do you have anyone you want to shout out? Anybody you want to talk about before we let you go?
Just shout out to my team, family, and all my friends, I guess.
I love it, man. Thank you so much for the interview. I really appreciate it,
Thank you.
and I I I I expect very good things from FlyQuest Academy in this split.
Thank you.
Alrighty, and we are, I believe, going to cut to a short little break here. So we will be right back, and on the other side, we'll